understand, they talk to me.
Hello and welcome to the AEW Wrestling Talk Show with Rich Jones and
John Smith will bring you our pre-show to AEW Full Gear, which comes at you this Saturday, November 13th, from Minneapolis, Minnesota at the Target Center.
yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to start your engines and shift your gears into full gear for AEW. So, for AEW, we have 10 matches in total, one of which will take place on the pre-show / buy-in.
Yes, as Nyla Rose teams up with Jamie Hayter to take on the team of Hiro Shida and Thunder Rosa.
However, on the main card we have 9 very, I would say, entertaining matches, if they go the way they should. Starting with the AEW World Championship.
As Kenny Omega puts his championship on the line against Hangman Adam Page, his former tag team partner.
Now, due to what is coming, or what should happen earlier in the card, I would like Omega to retain here because I think an Omega versus a certain person match has a bigger appeal to it than a Hangman Adam Page versus this person.
My next match concerns the AEW Women's Division, as Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, puts a championship on the line against Dark Order's Ty Conti.
Ever since winning the championship in May at Double or Nothing, Dr. Britt Baker hasn't really been challenged by anyone with the possible slight exception of a female formerly known as Ruby Riott.
Copyright.
And I don't really see anything changing here. I will admit, as I'm sure most people would, that the female division is probably the weakest part of AEW at the moment.
Yes, that is unless they sign a certain group of superstars that have recently let go from a company which will not mention.
A company that must not be named.
Yes. Now, we have our finals of the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament, where the winner of this next match will be number one contender to the AEW World title.
Yes, this goes back to what I was just mentioning about why I would want Kenny Omega to retain over Hangman Adam Page, as the superstar formerly known as Daniel Bryan
Copyright.
goes one-on-one with the superstar formerly known as Rusev.
Again, copyright.
Or, as it's known now, Bryan Danielson versus Miro.
Now, Miro wasn't originally going to be in this tournament, but due to our imitating reality, Moxley on November 2nd was removed from the tournament after he removed a rehab rehabilitation program for his alcohol addiction.
Yeah.
I'd say on the AEW Wrestling Talk Show, get well soon, John Moxley.
I would also like to say, you could follow his lead, Uso.
Yes. So instead, Miro took Moxley's place.
That's
where we are.
Yes, we'll go through exactly what happened in the first one. In the first round matches, John Moxley defeated
Preston Vance, 10 of the Dark Order.
whilst Orange Cassidy defeated Powerhouse Hobbs.
Brian Danielson beat Dustin Rhodes, aka Goldust.
Whilst Eddie Kingston defeated Lance Archer. Now, this should have set this should have set up a semi-finals match between John Moxley and Orange Cassidy, but as we just mentioned, due to real life getting in the way, John Moxley was replaced by Miro and would defeat Orange Cassidy to advance to a final, whilst Bryan Danielson would defeat Eddie Kingston and go on to a final. And going back to what we mentioned, or at least what I mentioned, personally I think that Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson is the match to go for if you're in AEW rather than Kenny Hangman Adam Page versus Bryan Danielson or any other combination. Wouldn't you agree?
Our next match a little bit personal as the teams of the Inner Circle of Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, TNT champion Sammy Guevara, and Santana Ortiz take on Men of the Year, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, and American Top Team of Junior DeSantos, Andre Arlovski, and Dan Lambert in a Minneapolis street fight.
Yes. Why is the Inner Circle always involved in one of these controversial tag team matches?
I don't know. Maybe I suppose it's Chris Jericho's forte, who, by the way, has turned 51 at the time of Tuesday, by the way.
51 and still wrestling. Why was that never the case with The Undertaker?
No, but still, who are we expecting to win this Minneapolis war?
I would say the Inner Circle, but they can't really win every single feud that they're involved in.
Got to lose a few.
And Chris Jericho, I would say. Really, the whole point of Jericho being in AEW is to put over the younger guys. For the most part.
We will have a tag team match for the AEW Tag Team titles. As the Lucha Brothers, Penta El Zero Miedo and Rey Fenix, defend their championships against the AAA World Tag Team Champions, FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler.
You mean the Revival? No, I would say, given the fact that the Lucha Brothers have really only just gotten started with their tag team title reign, having won the titles at All Out back in September, I wouldn't take the titles off from here personally.
No, I wouldn't either. And I'm looking forward to this next match.
Well, with former AT&T champion taking Darby Allin taking on MJF with Sting and Wardlow in their respective corners.
Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing MJF shoot all around the ring.
Yeah, well, it's not about what someone can do jumping around the ring. It's about if someone can keep their shoulders down for a 3 count.
True, but this next match also has an entertainment factor to it, as CM Punk goes one-on-one with Eddie Kingston.
Yes, following Eddie Kingston's getting out of the tournament finals for the World Championship tournament, he seemed to focus his attention on CM Punk. And let's just say last week obliterated Punk in a promo, and there's not a lot of people who can do that.
A lot of people reckon that was one of AEW's best promos of the year.
If not best promo for you. Now, shall we go to a Falls Count Anywhere tag team match?
Yes.
With Christian or Christian Cage, as he's been referred to now, former Impact World Champion, teams with Jurassic Express.
Of Jungle Boy Luchasaurus against the Super Click of the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, baby.
Yes, not copyrighted despite being in a company that must not be named.
Yes, but because Adam Cole owns the trademark, so what can you do?
Yeah, well, so did Daniel Bryan to a degree. They just moved his name around.
So who are we expecting to win this Falls Count war?
I would say probably the Super Quick, because they seem to be over at the minute, and I don't think Adam Cole has really lost yet.
And in our main event was a result of what happened on last night's Dynamite.
Well, it's not a main event, it's the last match that was added.
Yes, because of what happened on last night's Dynamite. Pac will team up with Cody Rhodes to take on Aleister Black, Aleister Black, and Andrade Cien Almas. Andrade El Idolo.
Yes, this is, along with at least one more match on this card, this is another match that could have taken place a few months ago in a company that must not be named.
Yes.
So,
let us run you through the card one more time.
Yes, in the buy-in match, we have a women's tag team match as Nyla Rose teams with Jamie Hayter to take on Akira Shida and Thunder Rosa.
Kenny Omega on the main card will defend his AEW World Championship against his former tag team partner, Hangman Adam Page.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defends the AEW Women's Championship against Jay Conti from the Dark Order.
Bryan Danielson will take on Miro in the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament final, when the winner of the match will become number one contender to the AEW World title.
The Inner Circle will take on Men of the Year and American Top Team in a Minneapolis Street Fight tag team match.
The Lucha Brothers defend their AEW World Tag Team titles against FTR.
Darby Allin faces MJF.
CM Punk goes one-on-one with Eddie Kingston.
Christian teams up with Jurassic Express to take on the Super Click of Adam Page and the Young Bucks.
Adam Cole, okay.
Sorry. Adam Cole and the other. There's too many Adams.
Yes, and finally, Pac will team up with Cody Rhodes to take on Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo in a tag team match.
The AEW Full Gear will take place Saturday night at the time of this recording, the 13th of November.
From the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And then next week we will bring you the results of Full Gear, along with later on switching companies for a pay-per-view that must not be named yet.
So until then, he's been
Rhys Jones and he's been
Sean Smith, and we will see you for Full Gear pay-per-view results next week.